Alright, update on FITFI. I'm going to make this one quick because my price targets from the last video are still in play. Let's jump right into it. So you can see, as I've been saying for all of these altcoins for the past couple of weeks, the trend is your friend until the end. If we do look at the 4-hourly EMAs, you know, we're clearly very bearish right now. I got in on FITFI somewhere around about this region with all of the YouTube community on the Cowboy family, and we rode this all the way up until the EMA ribbons flipped bearish around about 53 to 54 cents. And since then, apart from one swing trade from one of the lows down here to the EMA ribbons, I've really been sitting on the sidelines, and I've been very adamant that I think altcoins are still going to have more to capitulate against Bitcoin. It's very, very boring. I wish there was more hopium and hype in the markets right now, but you know, if there's no hype, I can't make it up. I have to say it how I see. I have to say it how I see it. And at this moment in time, you know, we're really not looking too hot right now. So my last video, we talked about this. You know, we had this micro fib that we were running off, the 1.618. We came perfectly down to the 1.618. We bounced on it. And quite recently, within the last 4-hourly candle, we came right up to the EMA ribbons. We pumped into them. And just look at this volume, 11 million FITFI sold. Well, it's an amalgamation between buys and sells, but I mean, to be honest, you look at the past 3 hours, you know, 3 million, 2 million, 1.5, and there was an okay amount of buying volume coming in here, but since then we've really been tapering off. It's normally not a good sign. I notice a lot of the time when you see this volume coming in terms of buyers, if we just come up to the EMA ribbons and it's followed up by bearish momentum, bearish volume candles back to the downside, then it's normally a telltale sign that we are about to roll back over, and that's what I think we're about to do for FITFI. So looking at the squeeze mom hourly time frame, I never normally pay too much attention to the hourly, but I will be for this video, just because at this moment in time in the past hour to 4 hours, this is the zone that we've been getting rejected from. So we are curling down on the squeeze mom. Bearish volume is coming in at this moment in time. We've got a bearish engulfing candle in terms of volume, sitting around about 11.8 million, about 5 million of that constitutes buying volume, but nonetheless, exponential volume as you are coming up into your moving averages and then having a harsh rejection is really not good. And the last time we saw a candle like this, well, I was actually going to point to over here. Let me change this to a more visible color. But the last 2 times that we've seen, well, I mean, you could argue this is a third one as well. Basically, the last couple of times, almost every single time, we see these wicks with we see these candles with big blow off top wicks to the upside. It's normally always an indication that you are about to further roll back down to the downside. Looking at this on the 4-hour, let me get rid of this. We're really not. I mean, it's really 50-50 because we've got a rise in volume from the past couple of days, but if you discount the lack of volume on the other day, we're really still seeing the same amount of volume that we saw before. So, you know, it's not really bearish. I don't think we're gonna like absolutely landslide at this period of time. That being said, though, Bitcoin is currently capitulating below this asymmetrical triangle. You might be thinking, you know, this is a FITFI video, why is this guy talking about Bitcoin? Well, the matter of the fact is, you know, what has Bitcoin been doing in the past 4 hours? Massive capitulation candle. What has FITFI been doing in the past 4 hours? Well, we were all the way up here, so bear in mind, I mean, it doesn't look as bad, but we came all the way up to 19 and now we're all the way down here. So FITFI follows Bitcoin. They literally follow each other in tandem, not necessarily for the moves day over day. Like, for example, Bitcoin was making a completely different pattern than FITFI is, but if Bitcoin decides to break out, FITFI is probably going to break out. If Bitcoin decides to have a capitulation down, that is exactly what FITFI is going to do. So, as always, the trend is your friend until the end. We've already come down to the 1.618, and considering we've bounced up to the EMA ribbons and rolled back down, it does make sense to me that I do, you know, keep that same energy as the last video. I am still expecting this 2.618 Fibonacci down here to be tagged at some point very soon. I think it can come a lot sooner than a lot of people think. We were predicting this 29% drop. I mean, it's probably 29% still. I mean, we've really moved down, you know, 0.5%. So we really haven't moved crazily. We haven't moved an exponential amount since I did make my video. We've pretty much been going sideways. But I thought I'd give you an update on some of the altcoins as Bitcoin is capitulating below this asymmetrical triangle. I think, in my opinion, that the altcoins, FITFI included, are also going to capitulate. Now, it's unfortunate we don't have a FITFI BTC pair, but what we can do is we can go over to CoinMarketCap and we can type in FITFI BTC, and hopefully they have a BTC pair. So we'll be seeing how is FITFI doing against its Bitcoin pair. So CoinGecko, no. Convert FITFI to BTC, step out calculator. Okay, here we go. So we can see, or at least, yeah, we've got a chart going on here. So basically, you know, since the 23rd of May, this was the past 24 hours. Let's go back to the past 30 days. I mean, it's very evident. I don't need to draw any lines on this chart. I don't need to draw any fibs. You can clearly see, like I've been saying, I've been talking about this for the past couple of weeks, but all of these altcoins are very, very bearish against Bitcoin. Obviously, you know, from where this minted, from when this released, it did have its little hype rally along with all of the other move to earns. But at this moment in time, you can't look at this chart and tell me, you know, FITFI is exceptionally bullish. I mean, the only bullish thing you could say is we're still above the lows on the Bitcoin pair, still above the lows from down here on the Bitcoin pair, but it seems pretty black and white to me. We are obviously in a huge bearish trend against Bitcoin. This is what I've been saying. I've been saying if Bitcoin capitulates, which I think it is going to do in the macro term, I have been saying, coming over to my macro Bitcoin chart, I'm probably making this FITFI video way longer than I wanted it to be, so I'm going to literally wrap it up now. But I still do think Bitcoin is coming down to 22,000. If we break below 29, 28 today, that is basically going to be the nail in the coffin that we will be down here in the next week. So if Bitcoin's going to come down another 25%, Bitcoin and FITFI move in tandem, and at this moment in time, FITFI is massively capitulating against its Bitcoin pair. What do you think is going to happen when Bitcoin goes down another 25%? In my opinion, FITFI is going to much lower price targets, not only against its USD valuation, but more specifically against its Bitcoin valuation. And I think that's what a lot of people should be looking at when we do come into these phases. So I do not think that this 29% drop is going to be enough to quench the first of the bears at this moment in time. I still think this is a relatively new crypto. It has a long way to prove itself, and we've already capitulated below all the lows. So in my opinion, 29%, we are going to be down here in the next week or so. Obviously, don't have a crystal ball. Might be a week, might be 2 weeks, might be 3 weeks, might be never. Like I said, don't have a crystal ball. This is my TA. In my opinion, it's moving down another 25%. But more specifically, I think we're going to move down at least another 55% down to the 7 cent region before Bitcoin finds a macro bottom. And then as we are in that solidified moment where Bitcoin is in the accumulation range after the bear market, this is really where we're going to see, are these altcoin projects innovating? Are they adding any value to the space? Or are they just copy and pasting the last hype train? Because as far as I can tell, FITFI is kind of just a copy and paste of GMT. I think a lot of these move to earns, they need to function in a bull market, because the way that the reward system works is that you've got one person at the top who's bought an NFT sneaker, and that person is not going to get any rewards, or the rewards will not be worth anything because the market cap will be at 0 unless 2 people come underneath that one person and they start buying up. Say, for example, if it was green metaverse token, because I don't know what it is for FITFI, they would be gifted green Satoshi token. And how do they pay out those green Satoshi tokens with a US dollar valuation next to them? It's very simple. 2 people need to come underneath the original person and buy up the supply. That money that they've spent on buying up the supply is then gifted in terms of the moved earns to the first person. How do the 2 people at the bottom make money? Another 3 people need to come in, then another 5, then another 7, then another 10. It wholeheartedly depends on how much money is entering the market. That is how these moved earns function. Without money entering their market cap, I'm telling you, they are absolutely going to landslide. So be very cautious with these. I have already traded this like I'm not a hater of FITFI, I'm not a hater of move to earns. As I always say, don't love it, don't hate it, don't trade it. If you go back to my videos down here at 24 cent, I was very, very bullish. I haven't just flipped bearish for no reason. I flipped bearish because the EMA ribbons have flipped bearish at 54 cent, and I'm still bearish at 17 cent from when I sold. We are down 67%, so when I do plan, if I do plan to pick up some of my move to earns, I'm going to be getting a huge discount, and this is only against the US dollar. It's a lot worse against Bitcoin. So as always, not financial advice. Best of luck if you are in these move to earns anyway, but yeah, cowboy out, peace.